All right, this next question is talking about a rate of decay. And the first thing when I looked at it, I thought it's actually decreasing by 0.33%. Now, you gotta be careful with that because it'd be easy to get that in the wrong form as a decimal. And to kind of just think about it, what I would remind you is that hopefully you know that 1% is 0.01. So if I'm talking about 0.33%, that's got to be smaller than this, right? So it can't be 0.33, that would be 33%. So you got to move the decimal back 2 places for a percent. So it's going to end up being like that in terms of a percent when you have 0.33%. And we're losing that much a year. So it's like 1 minus that if you wanted to find your like multiplier that's going to go in here. So just being careful with all those decimals there. And again, if you just want to grab a calculator to make sure you do that right, that's okay. But you're going to have like 9967.9967 is going to be your multiplier to the number of years or whatever they tell us here. It says use X for the years. So let's stick with what they said. Otherwise, sometimes the wrong variable in these computer programs will mark them wrong. And remember, this is starting out with 3,708. Again, be careful with that number. Sometimes they'll say that's in thousands or something. So you have to make sure you read. And so this is just a small town of 3,708. It says a city, but I wouldn't call a city a population of 3,000. And it doesn't, I don't see where it says that that's in thousands or millions or anything. So that's just the straight up number. And it says call it f of x. So if we put in a 0 here, that's 1. So your 0 represents 1995. And then if you put it in that formula, it comes out to 3708. So now the next thing that it asks though, the exponential function f of x, so this right here is what's going to go right in there for the formula for that. But then it also goes on to say, don't forget, we were supposed to answer this for the year 2030. So if I'm going to do 2030, over here in my table, I've got all these years going down here. What would this x be here after 1995? Well, it'd take 5 years to get to 2000 and then 30, so that'd be a 35 for my x. So I'm just going to go over here and put in the 35 for my x. 3708 times my 0.9967 to the 35 years later after 1995. And when I crunch that out on my handy dandy calculator, again, sometimes I jump over to decimals and demonstrate it, but I think you guys can handle this if you have a calculator, or you can go to decimals, for example, and do it. And I'm coming up with 3302.9. Now, the one thing that I didn't answer the first part of the question, so I'm not seeing the hint down below, but do you round this up to a 3? Do you leave the 0.9? Or do you say you can't have just a part of a person, so you have to cross that 0.9 out and stick with the 2? So there's some different options that you might end up needing to consider there, depending on what they're looking for the year 2030. And then I think that does answer all the questions they asked. So write an exponential decay, use it to approximate the population 2030, enter the formula there, and then you're going to put the number in for the final answer down below.